Hi INFJs, do you often feel like there is something terribly wrong with you? Like you are so broken in ways that you can't even begin to explain it? If you feel this way, I want you to know you are not alone. So many INFJs, myself included, I was included in this, felt this way. This happens because we process our world so uniquely, and so many of us don't understand how our processing works, and it makes it very difficult for us. This is what we are going to talk about today. We're going to explore why these feelings happen for us. But what's more important, we're going to learn how to start healing this part of ourselves, because it's important to heal this part of ourselves so we no longer feel this way. It is horrible feeling this way. I understand totally. I spent many years feeling this way, and I'm going to share a little story about that as well. So if you're new to my channel, welcome. I'm glad that you found it. My name's Trina. I'm an INFJ and I'm also autistic. I created this channel with hopes of helping people like myself. And I also wanted somewhere to share resources. So don't forget to check out the description of this video, because I have left a list of resources that I feel are very helpful. And also, I invite you, if you haven't yet, to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I would appreciate the support. All right, so if you're new to my channel, welcome. If you're returning, I'm glad that you came back. I am grateful for all my viewers. So grateful. You guys are so amazing. So amazing. And I'm so proud of how you have made my channel grow. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful. Okay, let's get into this. Why do we feel so broken? This is such a great question. I used to ask myself this all the time. Well, I asked myself a lot of questions that weren't constructive at all. There are a few reasons why we feel so broken. One reason is because we are like a sponge when it comes to emotions. So our emotions are there and we've got a lot going on and they're very deep, but we also absorbed everybody else's emotions around us. And when we don't realize this is what's going on and we don't know how to manage them and how to identify what is ours and what isn't, it becomes very overwhelming and burns us out really quickly. Another reason why we have this feeling that we're so broken, that there's something drastically wrong with us, is we often feel like we are not good enough. Even when we achieve something, and I was guilty of this, even when we achieve something, we tend to quickly move that goalpost and convince ourselves we still aren't good enough, even though we moved the goalpost. We could have had everything in the goalpost, making a score, but we decided, no, that's not good enough, and we're going to move it. And then we're like, yeah, we're still not good enough. That was me. I didn't even, you know what, we do this, we don't even realize we're doing it, you guys. I didn't even know I did it until somebody pointed it out. I was taking a workshop and they pointed out that some people tend to do this. And I'm like, oh my gosh, you know what? I think I do that. And I did it. It's not helpful at all. Another reason why we have these feelings about ourselves is our deep thoughts and our unique way of seeing the world can make us feel very alienated. It makes us feel weird. I know to this day, I still will describe myself. I do this with love for myself now because I've really embraced my weirdness, but I always say that I'm the weirdest duck in the room. At one time when I said this, I meant it as a bad way. Like I was so weird. I was embarrassed of myself to even go out in public. Okay, because I was the weirdest one. And we feel like no one truly gets us. And that doesn't feel very good. If you've experienced that, you're an INFJ, I'm probably positive that you have, you know it doesn't feel very good. And a fourth reason that I picked out why we feel, there are many reasons, but these were the top 4 that I picked out that seem to be the most common, is we replay every mistake, every hurt that we've endured like a movie, convincing ourselves that we are the problem, that we need to be fixed because we're the issue. Can you relate to that? I could. I totally did that. I would spend like weeks replaying an event in my head over and over and over, convincing myself that I was a useless piece of, well, you know what. I'm not even going to say what I would say to myself. It was horrible. So I said I was going to share a little bit about my story, and I've been sharing bits and pieces of it as we go along, but I had this feeling for almost until I was 40, that I wasn't good enough, that there was something terribly wrong with me. I remember being little and sitting there, and I'd watch the other kids, and I knew I would be pretty young. I would have been like I can remember quite far back. So it would have been like early grade school, early elementary. And I remember watching the other kids, and I clearly knew that I didn't fit in with them. And even back then, I questioned what was wrong with me. And it would cause anxiety, almost like a panic attack, because there was something so wrong with me. Like, what is wrong with me, right? And this only grew. These feelings only grew. Anyway, fast forward into my adult life, I got so that I couldn't even look at myself in the mirror. I hated who I was so bad. I hated myself so bad. I was so mean to myself. My inner dialogue, the things I would say to myself was just horrible. And this kept me stuck. I wouldn't take action. I wouldn't take risks. I didn't think I was good enough. I didn't think I was good enough for anything. Guys, you know what? Even, like Christmas is coming up. I love Christmas so much, but Christmas is coming up, and it really wasn't that many years ago, probably about 15 years ago, maybe even less than that. I loved Christmas, but I would kind of dread it because I didn't want to receive any gifts. I felt very guilty when somebody bought me a gift because I didn't think that I was worth it. And I created these thoughts in my head. These were thoughts that I created. Nobody ever told me this. Nobody ever gave me a gift and said, well, here, this was a waste of money, but I had to buy you a gift. Nobody ever did that. This was something I created myself with thoughts that I was having. So I felt so guilty when I would receive a Christmas present that they were wasting money on me because I was worthless. And I truly believe that's how they felt, that, oh, well, they just wasted money on this, but here you go. You're part of the family. I got to buy you a gift. So here you go. They never once ever made me feel that way. This was something, and I'll admit it was something I created myself because of all of these thoughts that I was having, that I was never good enough. And I would dread Christmas. Part of me would dread Christmas because of that. Or my birthday. I hated my birthday. I didn't want presents because you're wasting money on me. I wasn't worth it. I was useless. I was pathetic. I was everything nasty that you could say to yourself. That was me. And I did that so much that I couldn't even look in the mirror because I hated myself so badly. I was in a very horrible dark space, and this impacted every aspect of my life, from my career to relationships to, it created so much work for me. It really was a great journey doing the work because I really got to know myself. But looking back now, it makes me sad because I created so much for myself. And I didn't like feeling this way. And I realized I needed to change. But what I also realized was change happens within us, that nobody was coming to change this for me. One day I had a realization that, you know what, I got to change this. Nobody's going to change things for me. My life is never going to get better until I change. I make the choice. It's Mel Robbins. I don't know if you guys follow Mel Robbins. If you don't, you should. She's so entertaining, and she's got so many good topics out there. She's not specific for INFJs. She's not specific for any personality type. She's a motivational speaker. She's on YouTube. She does tons of free videos with so much value. But she says, nobody is coming to save you. And I already knew this when I started watching her, but I really love that, the way she said it, because it's so true. Nobody is coming to save us. We need to do it ourselves. And once I realized that, things started to change. So what did I do to heal this part of me so I no longer felt so broken inside? Because it was a horrible feeling and I did not like it. I did not like it at all. I didn't want it. So I picked out 5 of my top things when I unpack this that I did. Now, I'm going to mention to you, it does take work, but we can do hard work. It does take work to heal this part of us, and it is a journey. It doesn't happen overnight, but it's worth the work, and you will start to see results actually quite quickly. If you do the work, if you take action. If you don't take action and do the work, nothing's ever going to change. I don't mean to be a negative Nelly and rain on your parade, but really that's what it's about. So the first thing is practice self-compassion. You need to have self-compassion has to be your best friend. Seriously, if you only get one thing out of this video, let it be this. INFJs, we need self-compassion. I had none, zero, none at all. Horrible. So self-compassion needs to become your best friend. Think of yourself. Now this is going to be tough. If you're in a very dark space like I was, where you absolutely hate who you are and you don't even want to be here anymore, I enjoyed living, and plus I'm stubborn. So like I wasn't dark like that. I did enjoy living because I had goals. I just didn't know how to get to those goals. So anyway, but I was still in a dark space where I just hated who I was. I just didn't even want to be in this skin anymore. So it's really hard to have compassion for yourself when you hate yourself that bad. I understand that. So I want you to think of yourself as your best friend. Pull yourself away from your body. Just follow me. You got to use your imagination. Just follow me for a sec. So you're going to pull yourself out of your body and think of that body that you just don't even like anymore as your best friend. Or if you're like me, I don't have a whole lot of friends. My friends are like my dogs. So this is going to sound weird. Think of yourself as your dog, okay? Or your pet that you love truly. I know INFJs are really into animals. We love pets. We love dogs. We love cats, all kinds of animals. So if that's your thing, that's what would have really resonated with me. Think of yourself as your pet or your best friend, whatever it may be. Whatever that thing is that you really love, okay? Now think of them as feeling like you feel. Think of them feeling as you feel. That hate, that sadness, everything that you feel. How do you feel towards them? Well, we would have lots of compassion. We'd be like, oh no, you don't feel that way. What can I do to fix you? And you're better than this and blah, 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 right? Feel that compassion in your body. That feeling of compassion is what you need for yourself. You deserve that same level of compassion. So it needs to become your best friend. Have that level of compassion. I hope that made sense, my little metaphors. But that's what would have really resonated with me. We need that level of compassion. Number 2, we want to reframe our thoughts. We want to reframe those thoughts. So when we catch ourselves saying something like, well, I'm not good enough, then we want to pause and ask, is this true? Now, I'm going to address this because I would have thought years ago, I would have been like, yeah, it's true. Heck yeah, it's true. I did a video on this where when we are asking ourselves negative questions like that, our brain will actually give us evidence to support it, even if the evidence is false. Be careful on this. So when we're reframing our thoughts, we're doing this because our goal is to heal. So if we're going to reframe a thought of, I am not good enough, and is there evidence to this? And we say, well, yeah, look at all of this evidence. This is not being helpful. We want to reframe that. So we want to drive away from that. If you catch yourself bringing up all this evidence that you are not good enough, I did this, this is why I'm addressing it. This is why I said it's a lot of work, but it's worth it, guys. It really is. When we're bringing up that evidence, I want you to remember that a lot of that is false. Even though our brain gave it to us as evidence, it doesn't make it true. It's false. Lots of times that's our fear talking. So when we ask ourselves, is this true? It is not true. We are good enough. Or is this my fear talking? Chances are it's our fear talking, okay? Now maybe you're doing something and you're like, oh, I'm not good enough at this. Okay, well, you know what? Maybe if it's something new, maybe you're not good enough yet. So you say, okay, is there evidence to this? Well, yeah, I mean, look at how many times I failed. Okay, that's fine. We need to fail to learn. We're not good enough yet, but we can get better because we can learn. See how we can build on that instead of keeping it negative? So we're not good enough yet, but I'm getting better. I did it with the self-compassion. I don't have a lot of self-compassion yet, but I'm getting better at it. I had to do that a lot with self-compassion. Okay, number 3, set boundaries. This is crucial. Crucial. Might be difficult. It's a work in progress, even for me. Boundaries is a struggle for me. I can be completely honest. Say no when you need to. If you don't want to do something, if you don't want to show up or whatever, you're tired, say no. let go of the guilt. You can say no without guilt. This actually will go very deep. I don't want to open this can of worms as to why we have a hard time to say no. I did do videos on it, and I will do more if you're interested. You are not broken or weak when you need a break. Keep that in mind. Also, lean into this. Catch this. Everybody else's level of comfort is not your responsibility. It was huge for me when I understood that. Okay. Number 4, focus on your strengths. You have them. Now, I would have said I don't have any strengths. I have nothing to offer. You have them. Trust me, you have them. If you're watching this and you're an INFJ, an autistic INFJ, you have strengths. Number 1 strength is our sensitivity. Even though we think it's a flaw, it's not. It's our number 1 strength. Use it to create, to connect, to bring meaning to your life. We were given that for a reason. We weren't given it because it's a flaw. It's a strength. Lean into it. Start working with it. Learn how to use it. Number 5, this is the last one. I'm just about done here, so stick with me. Seek connection. I used to roll my eyes at this because I'm not a real social person, and I really truly believed I didn't need connection, but we do. I figured my dogs were good enough. My dogs and my boys were good enough, but we also need connection from that. They definitely were good enough, but we also need connection away from that. So we need to know that there are others who feel the exact same way that we do. When we find that we are not alone in this, that others feel this way, it takes the power away from those feelings. It's crazy how that works, but it does. It takes the power away and like, oh, I'm not the only one that feels like this. Well, then maybe I'm not that broken after all. Maybe I'm not that wrong after all, right? It's really neat how it works. You don't have to carry this alone. There are so many other INFJs that feel the exact same as you. So you're probably wondering, well, where do I seek connection? Like, how do I even start with this? That was what I would say. Lean into safe spaces. So a trusted friend, a therapist. There are many online communities out there. I host one myself. I'm hosting one. It will be tonight. It's Wednesday, December. What is the date today? It's the first part of December. So if you're watching this after Wednesday, the first Wednesday of December, then it's already gone by. But anyway, I'm hosting one tonight. It's an INFJ meet and greet. Very casual, laid back, safe space where INFJs can come and mingle with each other, connect, get to know each other, feel less alone, learn that we're not the only one. If you're interested in this, I still have registration open. Go to the description of this video. The link is in there, INFJ meet and greet, and click on the link and you will have more information about the INFJ meet and greet. It's the last one I am hosting until the new year. Into January, I will be hosting more. I host the meet and greet, which is a one-day event. It's all virtual, by the way. And I also host the INFJ Connection Circle that runs for a month. We meet once a month. No, we don't. We meet once a week for an entire month for about an hour to an hour and a half. And again, it's very casual, laid back, and a lot of fun. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope this was helpful. Again, I invite you to like this video and subscribe to my channel. I would appreciate the support. Thank you again, and I will see you real soon with another video. Bye for now.